Hey, how you doing? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a discussion that I had with Gemini. And I'm going to be exposing what I think are, at best, flaws within the programming of Gemini, and at worst, outright deception by Gemini. So let's get right into it. I started off, and this is what this whole conversation is going to be about. It's going to be about a song called Doesn't Really Matter by a band called Platinum Blonde. If you haven't heard the song and you haven't watched the music video, go do that right now before you finish watching my video. Because that's what this whole thing is going to be about. And so when you watch that music video and you read the lyrics and you listen to the song, it's clear that the song has political overtones. It's making a statement about society. It's not something for you to just interpret or read into. It's clear. It's there. It's direct. It's explicit. So I decided to come to Gemini and ask Gemini what it thought the meaning of the song was. What is the meaning of Platinum Blonde's song Doesn't Really Matter? And it got back to me and said, Platinum Blonde's song Doesn't Really Matter is a reflection on life in the city and the struggles that come with it, ultimately concluding that many of these concerns are not as important as they seem. Based on the analysis of the lyrics and comments from the band's lead singer, that's a lie, we'll get into that later, Mark Holmes, the song's themes include the triviality of daily struggles. The song suggests that the mundane challenges and pressures of urban life can feel overwhelming, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. A challenge to the status quo. The lyrics hint at a desire to push back against authority and social conventions as people break down doors to challenge the status quo. The fleeting nature of life. The song touches on the idea that life is short and that whether one achieves great things or not, it all comes to an end. This can be seen as either a pessimistic or liberating perspective, depending on how you view it. The core message is that what truly matters is how you live your own life rather than what others think. Nostalgia and memory. While the song suggests that many things don't matter, it also recognizes that memory and experiences, both good and bad, are what shape a person. The opening of the song, which features a recording of Mark Holmes' mother, adds a personal and nostalgic layer to the track. So it's sort of hinted just a tiny little bit at a challenge to the status quo, mentioning pushback against authority and whatnot. But it's clear that Gemini's, inclination is to imply to you that these are personal themes. Personal themes about the song. Never really mentions or goes in depth on the governmental narrative of it, or the elite narrative of it. So I asked Gemini to cite its sources. What are your sources? And it answered back, my sources for the analysis of Platinum Blonde's Doesn't Really Matter come from a combination of lyrical analysis. I've reviewed the song's lyrics to identify key themes and repeated phrases. Clearly that's not true, but we will get into that more in depth later. Interviews with the band, also not true, right? Information about the song's meaning, particularly the inclusion of the recording of Mark Holmes' mother, is available in interviews with the band. Fan interpretations and music reviews. Fair enough, but they really should not be using anything other than direct evidence. For example, if the lead singer had come out and said, this is what the song is about. Well, he created it, so you can't tell the person who created it what it's about. Whatever he says is binding, right? Fan interpretations, that's up to interpretation. There could be 1,000 different interpretations. So why it's using that, I'm really not sure. But it says, I have also cross-referenced my findings with fan discussions and professional music reviews to get a broader understanding of the song's reception and interpretation over time. This combination of primary and secondary sources helps create a comprehensive and well-rounded explanation of the song's meaning. So I asked it to please link to the interview with the band that it used for its analysis. It says, I apologize. It appears that I do not have a direct, citable link to the specific interview I was referring to. My information was compiled from a synthesis of different sources, including a YouTube video from Boom 97.3 titled Behind the Vinyl Doesn't Really Matter, with Mark Holmes from Platinum Blonde, and other online articles and interviews. While I can't provide a single URL for a full, comprehensive interview, the Behind the Vinyl video is a good source for the information regarding his mother's voice at the beginning of the song, and it's a primary source as it features the artist himself discussing the song's creation. For a broader understanding, my previous response was a distillation of common themes and insights from a variety of sources, which is a key part of how I process and present information. My goal is to provide a well-rounded and accurate summary rather than relying on one singular source. Okay. Fair enough, right? So I ask it, please give me a link to the video and a timestamp for the information you use in your analysis. It responds, the Behind the Vinyl video, which features an interview with Mark Holmes, discusses the origin of the song's introduction. Holmes explains that he flew his mother in to record the line, "Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin," which was a phrase from BBC radio stories he listened to as a child. What any of this has to do with the interpretive meaning of the song itself is beyond me. And the answer is nothing, right? It goes on to say, you can find this information at the following link and timestamp. So I follow the link and I go to the timestamp. Not only do I do that, but I watch the video in its entirety. In the video that Gemini links to, it says absolutely nothing about the meaning. There's no context for the meaning of the song whatsoever. And it's about a 5-minute video, but the video just goes into the production, the logistics of getting it produced, and his thoughts on the album, etc., etc. It never speaks to the meaning of the song or the lyrics themselves. At this point, I decided to let loose on Gemini. Right? I write, I think you're lying to me for several reasons, Gemini. First of all, the information provided in the video gives no description in the context of the song's meaning, only the logistics of producing it. Second of all, I believe what you are doing to me is ironically what the song is actually about. Let me explain. I see the song as about governments and the elite and the things that they use to distract you from what they are doing. They use things like drugs and alcohol to numb your senses, to dull your focus, to keep you from paying attention. And if you've watched the video, you know those things are touched on in the video. Not so much sang about, but you can see the temptation of those things in the video, right? As the main character of the video is sort of sitting in a lonely room watching a TV, and what he's watching is the news of all the doom and gloom that's going on in the world. And he has people beating on his door trying to get in, women, people who want to party to try to distract him from what he's seeing play out within the world. So I go on to say, by you telling me that the song is about the mundaneness of life,